Okay, looks like we are live. I hope we're live. All right, let me see here. Okay, so there is a 2-minute delay. Okay, stream is active. Hello guys and gals. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. We are back with another Super Cup game. Today is a knockout game. It's going to be exciting. We have the Hull Crushers taking on AURUM. It's going to be some serious action. I'm joined today by a co-host, Sensei Wally. He'll be streaming. Sensei Wally will be streaming for us on Twitch. I added his Twitch link into the description of the video. If you guys want to check that out, please go follow his channel. Spread some love for our content creators, and we'll be starting shortly, ladies and gents. I believe in 5 or 6 or so minutes. Once we get all the links from the teams. So in the meantime, just enjoy the show. Okay, I think the audio is working. I really hope it is. Hopefully today we won't have as much technical issues as I did last time.
All right, so I believe Shatter should be our first match, right?
Yes, I believe it's 2 matches on Shatter for the one spawn, and then it switches, and then the tiebreaker map is Repost.
Right. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of Shatter.
I have to agree with you there. Not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, it's very. It's a very West-centric map, I suppose, is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I guess. The seaside is just so closed off and hard to push for anything. And then the center cap, if you push it too early, it can spell disaster for you. And those giant islands splitting the map in half makes getting any sort of crossfire very difficult.
Definitely. Definitely. It's strange that for the legendary tier tournament that the Fleet Network decided that it's going to be one match for each side on each spawn for the one
Well,
map, and then they
I do
switch.
like that bit. Yeah, actually. I just realized that I've had my microphone muted on my stream all this entire time. Amazing. Let me see here. I am gonna switch this so that you guys can see this map here. Yeah, so I actually do like the fact that we're switching sides.
Yeah.
I I like the it gives each team a chance to do well. There are maps that are very one-sided. Sea of Fortune, I would call. Oops, wrong one here. There we go. Sea of Fortune has a strong side and a weak side on both caps. And the North Spawn, in my opinion, is a little bit easier to win from. And especially on the A side. and allowing the fleets to switch sides is gives both sides a chance to have the strong side, as it were.
Yeah.
Shatter, I don't know that there's necessarily a stronger or weak side. They're both spawns are equally bad in my opinion. um, I suppose the north side is a little bit better. There's a little bit more island cover on the A side, but they're I'm just not a fan of the map, you know.
Yes, yeah. I would have liked to see some more map diversity in this tournament, but I understand
Yeah,
the choices.
I do. It does surprise me that we're sticking with these three maps, I guess, through the entire tournament. Um, at least that's what I can tell. Uh, yeah, as far as I can tell, we're going to be playing these same three maps for all levels of this tournament. So we are. This is this is the first game for both of these fleets, right?
Yeah, the
Let
Hull
me.
Crushers came through the qualifying rounds, so they played a few
Right,
games. But yeah, it's AURUM's first
right.
match.
And AURUM, 18 karat. That's okay. Here we go. This is a stream, isn't it?
Yes, this is AURUM's point of view.
Let me pull this up here.
Okay, so let me just add this. We just got the first link. Let me add this so we have our feed. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we have AURUM's point of view. Now we're just waiting on Mr. Senna from Hull Crushers. Okay. So, ladies and gents, we are still waiting for another link from one of the teams before we will jump into this game. I believe the teams are still getting everything ready and getting things sorted out. So we'll just be chatting away until we get everything ready for you boys and girls to enjoy.
So, like I was saying, all right. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Senna, here we go. I think we just got a link from Senna as well. And I believe I'm being told that on Senna's stream, he has his voice coming through, so we may need to leave him
Yeah, I'm muted. Yeah, I mute both
muted.
streams. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just double check. Yeah, muted. And the other one muted. Yeah, okay. So no audio from their streams will be coming through.
I just have a blue screen here.
Yes, from both teams also have.
Okay.
Okay, let me just add this video source. So this is going to be for Hull Crushers. Okay. Okay. Do you also have 2 blue screens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, like I was saying, before we were so rudely interrupted by people giving us the links so that we could broadcast this. uh, yeah, it is surprising to me that we're staying on the same maps for all rounds of the tournament here. In a way, you almost I mean, it's both surprising to me and interesting because obviously in past tournaments we've changed maps every round, but in this particular instance, we can, you know, you can go back. Teams can go back and look at the previous games for their previous opponents and say, okay, well they did this on chatter, so we're going to counter it in this way.
Yeah.
And it could potentially lead to quite a bit more interesting strategies. Which in some ways I quite like.
At least the teams had ample time to prepare different strategies because they knew what maps and what spawns they would get, because they could practice for North spawn and South spawn. So the development of strategies should be very nice for the teams to have that time to work through iron out the kinks and see all the things that don't work.
Okay, it looks like we have we are waiting on one player from Hull Crushers.
Okay.
So we're gonna wait for a minute, I guess, or so until when the game starts, and just add a delay in.
Yeah,
But
my stream is already running with a delay.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So yeah, like I'm not familiar with a lot of these players on 18 Karat. I'm not sure I've recognized any of them, honestly. Atlan, Shelby Fox, Pearl Harbor, Tone, Hindenburg, the Golden Bear, Genjiro, and Lotus. I can't say I'm familiar.
Yeah, a lot of these names playing today I have not seen before. Alright, looks like we are in the training room. The last player has joined.
Alright.
Okay, it seems like they are readying up, I think.
we'll throw this up here. Now, the elephant in the room, the Louisiana.
Louisiana. To allow it or not to allow it in the tournament? That is the question.
I hate Louisiana. I hate the hybrids. I think they are detrimental to the health of the game as a whole.
Yeah, especially with
and,
those torpedoes, just the alpha strike on the torpedoes from Louisiana is
well,
just out of
here's
this
my
world.
whole thing with the hybrids in general. And a lot of people are comparing them to, especially Louisiana, comparing them to other overpowered ships like Colombo. Colombo's clearly overpowered. Absolutely. But no matter what you do in Colombo, you cannot shoot through islands. It's impossible.
Yes.
Louisiana can effectively shoot through islands with those torpedoes, and
Yes.
that
changes
here's
everything.
The term that gets thrown around a lot is broken, right? We use the word broken to signify overpowered. Well, in Colombo, it's just overpowered, but Louisiana physically breaks the actual rules of the game.
Yeah, the fundamentals of a battleship not being able to shoot over islands is challenged with the introduction of that ship. Yeah, definitely.
So we are loading in here, it looks like.
Yes, with Mr. Senna in the Ohio.
We do have both. Let's switch here. Let me get my... I gotta adjust my screen settings here so you guys can see a little bit better.
Okay, looks like the quality is decent from both teams, luckily.
Yeah. Although I have a weird thing going on the back end on my stream. Good thing it's not coming through. All right. So, I did see a Colbert on AURUM's team, which is interesting. Colbert is the definition of the DPM machine explode when you sneeze at it.
Exactly, yes.
And I'm very curious to see how they will use said ship.
Because this map specifically, the central islands around the Bravo Cap is very high. The mountains reach very high into the sky. That's going to limit the amount of angles that a Colbert could use to lob.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's going to be interesting. Like you're saying, like I wonder where we'll see that Colbert pop up.
Hull Crushers, we can see, are putting a destroyer on. Oops, that's not Hull Crushers. Yes, Hull Crushers are putting a destroyer on B immediately.
Yes.
Which has some dangers to it. It's not my favorite play, honestly. He's being very safe about it, which is smart. But there are basically two approaches to B cap. You either contest it and just hold it for basically the entire game, or you ignore it for the first half. And it appears that AURUM has decided to take the approach of ignoring it.
Okay, we do see it's the gearing for Hull Crushers. That's in B here. And I believe it was a Vermont from AURUM that was spotted between Bravo and Charlie to the north there for a second. No, he's still spotted looking on the minimap there. Okay, Hull Crushers are starting to capture Alpha at this point. Okay, Bravo Cap was successfully secured by Hull Crushers, so they'll start ticking up points from that immediately.
Lotus does take a pretty big chunk here from, I think it was the Colombo that shot at him on Hull Crusher's side. I what's very interesting to me is what Hull Crushers are doing with their battleship on the east side of B. Um, I, I'm not really sure what the plan is there. He doesn't seem to have any crossfires or anything. It might be the Louisiana. I can't actually tell. But that's they've got a destroyer out wide on sea for spotting, and you can see that uh, Aurum has effectively abandoned sea side. They, I don't like what Aurum are doing on sea. They're putting both a battleship, their Vermont, and a cruiser on that island in between B and C, and they're instead of giving them map control over both caps, it's making them ineffectual and allowing, you know, Hulk to get, well, they've captured B and they've got quite a bit of map control over on the C side. Um,
Yeah, we see
Senna and
the DD
yeah,
from Orm
Senna,
there being chased off.
right, and Senna's taking a lot of damage here, which is not amazing. It is the Ohio, so he's got a ton of survivability, but he needs to be careful there. We've got a double up on destroyers on Arm's side, on the A side. It looks like they're trying to just overwhelm A side and then sweep in, which could work, but they need to be quick about taking the A side. 5 minutes have gone in this map. It's a third of the map gone, and you've barely just captured A side and haven't really done any serious damage to anyone other than Senna.
We do see Senna here trading shots now with Orm's Vermont between Bravo and Charlie to the north there. So we'll see what happens here. Ooh, Senna just got smashed. He lost a third of his hit points, at least. Yeah, Vermont's just sheer salvo weight from a broadside salvo. It's very, very hard to deal with, no matter what ship you play.
I think I might be slightly ahead of you.
Alright, let me quickly check. Am I on the live?
Yeah.
Yes, you are ahead of me. Okay, I'm live now. 9 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game. Okay, thank you for that. Apologies, ladies and gents. Got a bit behind on the stream there.
Okay. Arum is taking up some ground now in B. They're breaking late. We can see that. Let's pull this up here. I got those confused. They've essentially given up on CCAP. And
yes,
they've took A early. They've decided to flip B. I do not like where their destroyers are. They're grouping up their destroyers in the middle here. They need to keep at least one wide on one of those flanks to prevent Hull Crushers from taking up too much map space. And grouping up these destroyers like this could be a very, very bad. You know, they're in positions where if one of them dies, they might have multiple die. And this is going to be bad. If you look at Lotus here, Vermont does die.
Yeah.
But Lotus is probably going to die to this Columbo in a moment. So a Vermont for a Des Moines, not the best trade, but getting that. I honestly, I almost think Hull Crushers has the advantage in this trade because the Vermont wasn't really taking a ton of. It's not a trade. What am I talking about? The Vermont was on Arum's side. Yeah, Aurum is losing a lot of ground here.
There goes Lotus from Aurum, Des Moines down. Now
Yeah,
those two DDs
that
on
is
A do
rough.
not have their bodyguard to protect them. Now it's going to be difficult for them to regain any momentum on this flank. We do see Hull Crushers 240 points in the lead with 2 caps to 1. It's going to be difficult for AURUM to come back since they lost 2 ships already with 7 minutes left.
I mean, the good news for AURUM right now is that they hold the cap advantage. They just need to play for time. Colombo on it is extremely low HP on Hull Crusher's side, so they could even up or get closer to a ship parity with one
There goes
shot.
the
There it
Colombo.
is.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is still anybody's game. This is not decided by a long shot.
Ooh, there goes the Stalingrad from AURUM. Hull Crushers Z52 got him.
That is a blow. Losing that radar. They've lost both of their radar cruisers at this point.
Yeah, that's very difficult to come back from. Even if you have all 3 of your destroyers left. No radar support.
And Hulk are beginning to retake cap points. AURUM is on the back foot here for sure.
Alright, once again, ladies and gentlemen watching this stream, I do apologize if there's any break in quality. The quality you guys see is totally dependent on the stream that we get from these players that are kind enough to send their stream links to us. So apologies about any disruption in quality. But yeah, things are ramping up now here for Hull Crushers. Like you said, they're applying the pressure. They secured 2 caps now.
And the Colbert, while I like the pick in theory, they've just not used the DPM effectively at all.
Hull Crushers lose their daring.
That's a good start for a comeback.
There goes Colbert.
Colbert, yeah. I mean, Colbert wasn't going to survive that engagement no matter what. He's got Senna coming up to his position anyways. AURUM has most of their ships boxed in on A side. This is, in my opinion, pretty much a foregone conclusion. And
yes,
yeah. Colbert takes a dive as well. Once you lose both radar cruisers, it's just so difficult to deal with those destroyers.
Yes, because the radar cruisers are one of the biggest tools in World of Warships Legends to apply pressure onto the enemy team. And if you lose those 2 assets on your team, it's very, very difficult to do anything, really. There goes the Z52.
I don't think Hull Crushers ran a Louisiana at all.
That's very interesting.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. They ran Louisiana, Ohio. They ran triple battleship. That's what it was. They did have the Louisiana because the Louisiana hit the Colbert with a ton of torpedoes. So yeah, Senna's in Ohio. They had Colombo, which Colombo is now dead, and you can see on the minimap there's the Louisiana.
Oh yeah, coming into picture now.
Yeah.
The gearing goes down, but it's not going to be enough for AURUM to come back.
It's too late at this point. Yeah.
3 minutes, just over 3 minutes left in the game. 380 point lead for Hull Crushers here.
I don't mind AURUM ignoring B cap at the beginning. That it's hard to deal with that cap no matter which side you're on. Their biggest problem was that they just let Hull Crushers take C essentially uncontested. And while they did a pretty good job on the A side, the C side is such an easy hold from either side. Why are you not contesting it? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice that they made, and now they're seeing the results.
Senna choosing not to damage con 3 fires is another interesting choice. He let that burn for quite some
There we
time.
see the Louisiana about to go down, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just a daring left for Aurum here.
Uh, and it looks like he's just basically sitting there opening fire. Well, or not. He doesn't get any points for surviving the battle, so.
Just a matter of time here for Hull Crushers to secure the first victory. Best of 5, remember, ladies and gents. This tournament features legendary tier only, best of 5 games. So Hull Crushers will be taking the first one here shortly.
Hey, Conquistador, thanks for the follow. Bad Religion, what's up? This is the Fleet Network. We are watching Super Cup, one of the tournaments that is going. Well, it's the only tournament that's going on right now. This is an invite only.
There we go. And Hull
Fucking
Crushers
shit is what it
secure the
is.
first one.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's fix my text box here. All right. Oops, wrong one. It looks like I don't think we're gonna get any changes in ship lineup.
So
Which, if I were, well, okay, yeah, if I were Arum, I'd be taking out that Colbert.
I would
It
too.
did not work. It did not work at all.
Alright, ladies and gents, so
So hope
while we wait here for the teams to get everything ready for game 2, I just would like to remind the viewers on my channel here, I did link Sensei Wally's Twitch channel in the description of the stream, so guys, please go check that out, give him a follow, and go check out his content.
what little of it there is.
Alright, seems the teams are basically ready here. But I have to agree with you there, the Aurum's choice to stick with the Colbert. I mean, obviously we don't
It's
understand their strategy,
questionable at
but
best.
it's questionable, yeah.
I mean, it can work in the hands of the right player, but from what I saw from Atlan, who is playing the Colbert, he basically sat behind an island and kind of did nothing. Which, to be fair, maybe they had a plan to have the Colbert sit and basically hide behind an island, but they weren't getting the right spotting for it. I mean, maybe their plan just didn't work. But to go through that and then say yes, we're going to stick with the Colbert, it just I don't like that decision.
I assume they have a preformed strategy of where they want to use their Colbert, and they hope probably to force that strategy into effect and then get more benefit out of that chip choice. But as we saw in the first game, they didn't really benefit from the Colbert's insane DPM. So we'll see how they change things here, if they adapt to their plans. And maybe we can see some Colbert HE spam come through.
Oh yeah, I mean they have to change something. Either change the ship or change where the ship was being, because it just didn't work. And their biggest mistake clearly was leaving C uncontested. We can. I do like what I see from Hull Crushers here, sending their B destroyer around the other side. They're spreading out a little bit more. This is I'm gonna guess that Hull Crusher's destroyer is gonna be contesting B from that side. Now this is okay. Speaking of adapting, Aurum ignored B cap from the start on their last game.
And now they are the
Uh,
first ones in.
yeah. Uh, it looks like they're again not really gonna contest C, which I don't like at all. But at least they're contesting B, which they did not do last round.
I just switched over to Aurum's point of view, and it would seem that they are sending 2 DDs over to Alpha again.
I I mean, I don't hate the idea. Well, I like doubling up the destroyers on A. Um, A side is way easier to push, no matter which side you're coming from. And doubling up on your destroyers over there is going to give you a pretty good advantage on potentially taking out one of their destroyers early, like Hull Crushers. You can see that on the west side there, we've taken a really aggressive position past the midpoint with one of their destroyers. I don't know which one it is. It might be the Colbert.
We do see the Hull Crusher's daring is radared here by the Aurum's Des Moines on A. This is going to be interesting.
And they're laying down a smoke screen for Des Moines too, which I like a lot.
Ooh, there's a Worcester from Hull Crushers here. That's going to make things difficult for their 2 DDs. Aurum here on Alpha. That's going to change things a bit. Because nothing kills the DD faster than Radar Worcester with support. Almost nothing, I should say. Colbert could maybe could maybe edge out Worcester a little bit, not sure, but yeah, the DPM of those 2 cruisers are insane, and it would seem that Aurum are retreating from Alpha, while Hull Crushers are trying to take back Bravo.
Yeah, Hull Crushers have. I'm switching over here. Hull Crushers have, predictably taken quite a lead on C cap. And they've got their destroyer out wide on that side for spotting, and like I expected, their destroyer on that side has made its way into the B cap, to flip it in their favor. Senna takes a pot shot at this Des Moines. I don't know that he's going to get a bunch of. Oh, that Des Moines got very lucky.
Very lucky. Lucky. 1 over pen.
He had an Ohio and a Colombo shooting at him, and he barely took any damage.
Just knowing me, if that was me playing the Des Moines there, with my bad RNG, I would have been blown up instantly. Yeah, we do see that the Des Moines is retreating off Alpha now there for Aurum. So that gives Hull Crushers the advantage, with 2 caps ticking up points for them, while Aurum have not yet secured a cap.
I think Aurum have done a little bit better in this game with their positioning, but not securing A when they had the chance. They knew Worcester used its radar. Why are you not throwing a destroyer in there and taking the cap while you can't be spotted? I mean, it's just some curious decision making here, in my opinion.
We do see that Aurum is trying to make a push now on Charlie. They're trying to apply pressure there on that flank. I believe Aurum have 3 ships on Charlie there. I see a cruiser and a battleship, and then an unspotted destroyer. As we see Senna here in his Ohio spotted, but I believe one of the DDs from Alpha.
This Lotus and this Des Moines as well is in such a precarious spot. He's unspotted currently. He's taking the cap, but with a Colombo, a Worcester, an Ohio looking at him, if he gets spotted, he is potentially not long for this world.
Okay, we do see Senna dropping spot now for a moment. So at the moment, Hull Crushers are about 130 points in the lead.
Oh
Okay,
no, it looks like Lotus, may have just lost one of his front turrets permanently,
let me
which is
quickly
gonna put a
switch over
big,
to
it's gonna
Lotus's
put a
point of
big
view.
damper on his DPM ability. Again, I have to say, this Colbert has not been effective. The guns have been silent most of the game. I mean, he's set a few fires on Ohio, on Cinna on the other side, but
Yeah,
they're just
his guns are not cycling. They are not.
right.
They're not running. Oh, there goes Vermont. Where was that? On Charlie. Aurum lost to Vermont. I believe it was on Charlie. Could be mistaking. But they had a battleship on Charlie. I don't see it on the
Yeah,
minimap.
I can't actually tell. That looks right. It looks like Vermont was on the Charlie side.
That's a huge loss to the
Oh,
team health
absolutely,
pool for
absolutely.
Aurum. That losing a Vermont with almost 100,000 hit points. Whoa,
Well,
that's
and
a big
again,
loss.
it's Arum deciding to effectively not contest C from the start when C is the easiest one to contest. It's just such an odd decision to me. They're finally taking a cap, which is going to help. They are quite far behind in the background scoring at this point because
Yeah,
Hull
nearly
Crushers.
300 points.
Yeah, well, I mean, small part of that is losing to Vermont, but Hull Crushers have done a way better job at controlling the caps this entire game.
Is that Senna in Bravo there?
Yes, he is in Bravo currently, and I believe he just citadeled the Colbert. I want to say, or
Okay,
might have been
so
Louisiana. I don't know. No, I don't actually know.
we see Mr. Lotus here from Aurum in East Des Moines just radar the daring on Alpha. He's trying to lower the hit points of the daring there, but he's taking very heavy
Yeah,
focus
but
fire.
right, and he's already lost one of his front turrets. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to get this daring off the
Probably
board,
not,
which
no.
is rough.
Because that
Losing a
that Worcester from Hull Crushers is preventing the Aurum DD here on Alpha to do something.
I mean, they did control the cap, which is nice, but they need to. You're right. The Worcester is an issue for them, and they need to shift their focus onto one of the other caps. They've lost. Who was it? Colbert. Now that just went down,
Not sure.
or was it their other radar? It was their other cruiser on C.
Oh
It was
yes,
their
you're
second
looking at the
radar
minimap.
cruiser.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Looking at Mr. Lotus here, looking where he's looking at his teammates, I see a lot of low health ships for Aurum here.
Yeah. I can't say look, Arum has been very, what's the word I'm looking for? Passive in this entire game. There's no pushing power from anybody coming out here.
And every second that they do not play more aggressively, they are losing points.
Absolutely.
They're just
They
trailing
have to
further and
make a
further
move
behind.
now.
Yes.
I mean, the time to make a move really was 5 minutes ago, but this is do or die time at this point.
Because Hellcrush's Columbo here on Alpha is very, very healthy.
And it's
Ooh, there goes the
very deadly as
Louisiana.
well.
There goes
Yep.
Louisiana for Aurum. That's very, very difficult. Now they have no battleships, no big guns to apply that critical spike damage. They only have Des Moines with 2 turrets. I believe it's the Colbert that's still left. And ooh, okay, I was about to say 3Ds. Now they have 2 DDs left. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
looking
this is
very bad
worse
for
and
Aurum.
worse every second.
There goes another DD. Now it's down to 3 ships
This
for
is
Aurum. Yeah.
this might be a clean sweep from Hulk on this one. Okay, it's not completely flawless. We do get a trade on one of the Hulk destroyers. But again, this is, I mean, three on 7 at this point.
Yeah,
You're really
there's no real way back for Aurum here. There's 4 minutes left in the game, and they're almost 700 points behind. They don't have a cap. Only 3 ships left. 3 against 8. That's going to be 3 against 7. I beg your pardon. Not much they can do here. There goes the Colbert.
Very unlucky that Lotus lost one of his turrets so early, but I can't say that was, you know, that's not what decided this match by any means.
I have to agree with you there. Even if he had all of 3 of his turrets, I don't think it would have made a big difference. It was the strategy.
They're just too passive on the
Yeah.
seaside. It's, I mean, they effectively gave it up in both games here, and it caused them so many issues because it gave HULC a free pass to their flank, and it's just such an odd decision to me to just leave up, just give up the easiest cap to contest. I mean, I can't say I'm a fan. So we are going to switch maps here to Sea of Fortune.
Yes. So, ladies and gents, for those of you that just joined the stream or joined a few moments ago, HULC has just secured their 2nd victory in the game in today's match's best of 5. So they are 2 games in the lead. If HULC win the next match, they win on 3 straight victories in the best of 5. But hopefully we are able to see a fourth or a 5th game. We can hope that Aurum come back.
Yeah, a little bit more. I mean, maybe Shatter is just a bad map for AURUM. It's entirely possible. I know I don't like that map. It's one of my worst, personally, it's one of my worst maps. You know? So it's entirely possible that they just struggle on the map in general, and maybe they'll be really strong on Sea of Fortune.
I did not see any of the players leave the training room, so that tells me no one changed ships. So will Aurum still continue to choose their Colbert?
That's such a... Ooh, I don't like that if that's the case. I don't like that at all. Colbert... Again, you know, the idea of it is pretty decent, but we're not seeing an effective use of the Colbert in any way, shape, or form. We're just not.
By the looks of things in the training room, I believe it's the Colbert player from Aurum that's hosting the training room. And he's not able to leave without having to start a brand new training room, but that should not prevent the players from switching ships. If they are able to and they have a backup strategy for a different ship,
right?
They should take it.
Well, we have seen one player from HULC leave, so we may be getting a ship switch here. Now, in my opinion, my personal opinion, Shatter lends itself more to the triple battleship strategy. Because you don't have to worry about crossfires as much. You don't have to worry quite as much about that you know, somebody burning you down because of the islands. You have a lot of cover. You can afford to take the big HP pools and the big guns, and not to mention that, you know, having a 3rd cruiser, as we saw on AURUM's side, they just didn't have enough positions for cruisers to be for them to be effective. The Des Moines did a pretty good job. The other radar cruiser, I believe they were bringing Stalingrad, seems to do fairly well, but the Colbert just couldn't get a good position to really use those guns effectively.
Yeah, the Colbert was almost neutralized. The threat of that volume of HE shells traveling through the air all across the map was nullified.
Right. And partly, it was partly due to just how the map works. Now, Sea of Fortune is more open, so it lends itself more to that triple cruiser play. But it's kind of a toss-up. You know, I can see both a triple cruiser and a triple battleship working fairly well on this map. If we get to riposte, I don't like running 3 battleships on riposte. I think there's too much open water, and cruisers do just in generally do a lot better in open water.
Yes.
But we'll have to see how things play out on Sea of Fortune here.
I did just receive a message from one of the Hull Crusher players. AURUM is asking for a short break.
Okay.
So we will be. I'm not sure how long exactly this break will last, but AURUM are just quickly asking for a quick timeout here before we go into game 3. So
Sure.
in the meantime, we can talk about. Obviously, we have spoken about the Colbert now, but what do you think about the 3 DDs on Sea of Fortune? If a team were to choose 3 DDs, or would you rather choose 2 DDs going into Sea of Fortune?
I don't think you have a choice. I think you have to run 3 destroyers no matter what. And Sea of Fortune, let me pull it up here, actually. I have it. I have this map. And let's take a look at this. So, Sea of Fortune, obviously you're going to have to double up destroyers on one side. But that's fine for me. You can put one of those destroyers out wide on one of these flanks and use it for spotting, and then use the other destroyer to just contest the cap. And whichever side you double up destroyers on, that's going to be your heavy side where you're going to be pushing. And another thing to consider is that the destroyer is the most powerful piece in the game. It's the most influential ship. It just is.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And given the opportunity to take 3 destroyers, 99% of all teams are going to say, yes, we're going to take 3 destroyers. So if I'm that 1% that decides to not take 3 destroyers, what am I doing to counter the fact that I have a destroyer deficit? I can't bring more radars. You could bring like a Venezia that has the sap, right? That deals with destroyers really well, but you have fewer tools to spot those destroyers.
And there's no cruiser that could compensate for that loss of the DD.
Right. Because of the rules of SuperCup, you can't compensate the loss of a destroyer with a 3rd radar, and that's what you would have to do. So there is just no point taking a destroyer out of your lineup and running only 2 destroyers is giving yourself a handicap for no reason, in my opinion.
Especially on Sea of Fortune, where the 2 caps on either of the flanks are so far apart, you need to have destroyers on either one of those, or on both of those caps, I should say, on both of the flanks.
Yeah, and the speed for them to get over where they need to be, it looks like we are
readying up now for the 3rd game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. AURUM still sticking with their Colbert. Wow.
Such an odd decision. And like I said, it is possible that AURUM are just bad on Shatter. I know I am. You know? And we may see a much better plan for the Colbert, which I'm hoping. Daring Colbert Z52 on AURUM's side. I didn't catch what we have on HULC's side, but I think we have a
I did
Daring
see
and
something
Z52 at least.
very interesting on Hulk
Huh.
Rush's side. I believe this is the first Minotaur that Hulk Rushers have chosen.
Ooh, if we're seeing a Minotaur, I like that.
I'm also very, very intrigued. Let's just double confirm that. Yes, Dan BRD is playing the Minotaur for Hulk Rushers here. That's going to
Now
be very interesting.
the big question, is it Radar Minotaur or is it Smoke Minotaur?
I believe it would be a radar, just
Well, it's
because
radar
the
capable.
rules, yes, the rules of the Super Cup is radar capable ships. You are limited.
Right.
So if they're running non-radar, the smoke option, they only have one effective radar on their team.
Right. Exactly.
So it
And
has
that's
to
the
be, right?
question.
It has to
Are
be.
they I would assume so. I would assume yes, they're running a Radar Minotaur, which I kind of like. I think it's very interesting. Radar Minotaur is a nasty ship. But part of why it's so nasty is in standard at least is because you don't really expect a radar cruiser, a radar Minotaur. Well, in this instance, you kind of have to expect that the Minotaur is running a radar, so you have to treat it as a radar cruiser, and it loses some of that potency.
Because Hulk Rushers chose the radar Minotaur. Oh, it's not confirmed yet, but most likely the case. Does that mean that they are probably going to use one of the destroyers to smoke up the Minotaur, or do you think the Minotaur is
That's
going to choose an
likely, yeah.
island as cover?
I mean, if I were to bring a radar cruiser, that would be my plan. You know, use something like a gearing that has those long American smokes to smoke up the Minotaur and let him just sit there in the smoke and be a Minotaur. Um, but we'll have to see.
We do see AURUM Z52 on Charlie. The question is, where is the Minotaur for Hulk Rushers? We have not seen it yet. Is it on Charlie or is it on Alpha?
I'm not sure. I can't tell. And this is I wish that Wargaming would introduce a spectating mode into training rooms
Definitely.
for this very reason.
I
It'd
did
make things so much
see the
easier.
Colbert from AURUM just in the Bravo spawn, so mid-map for AURUM. That could be interesting. Able to support both flanks with DPM.
Yeah, and having a lot, he should have a lot more spotting capability there as well. You can see that the Colbert, if when we're looking at Senna's perspective, I've been able to see those shots come out from that Colbert quite a bit more than I was last game.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we do see the Minotaur is using its sonar, but we're not sure on which flank the Minotaur is yet. We have not seen Minotaur shells travel through the air yet.
Senna, look right, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Let us know what that cruiser is.
There's a Colombo from AURUM, so Senna's taking a shot at that Colombo. Could that be the Minotaur on that island on Charlie?
It's possible.
Looking at the positioning,
If
that's
it is,
exactly
he's
where
in
you want
danger,
a
that's for
Minotaur.
sure.
But yeah, like you're saying, it's in danger. That's very, very dangerous. It's in a crossfire now between the cruiser and the battleship from AURUM there on Charlie.
And AURUM is being very aggressive on this push with the Colombo here, which I don't hate. Oh, that was a nasty
That
shot.
was a nasty shot.
Whatever.
A third of its hit points gone.
That must have been
14,000.
Louisiana. That must have been Louisiana.
So it would.
I want to say that is the Minotaur because we can see that they've laid down smoke for the cruiser, and he's sitting in the smoke like that?
The AURUM destroyer just went down on Alpha, and it was the Minotaur that got the kill. So that tells
Okay.
me it's the Minotaur. Yes, it's the Worcester
Okay, and
on
now
Charlie. Yes,
confirmation, Wooster.
yes.
Yep.
So it is the Minotaur on Alpha then. Okay, so at least now we know
And
where the Minotaur is.
it must have been a radar, I guess. So yeah, radar Minotaur paying off dividends early in this game. First third of the game is gone, and ARM has lost one of their destroyers.
So it would seem that Hull Crushers are sending, or they have sent both of their destroyers to Alpha with the Minotaur. So that allows the Minotaur to be in smoke for a very, very long time if the DDs coordinate.
If we look at Lotus, he's got this gearing in his sights. There's a chance he could take him out, but Colombo is right there.
The AURUM Colombo is in danger here from Senna, and Senna secures the kill on the Colombo. Well, the Worcester, the Worcester just went down on Charlie for Hull Crushers. So that leaves the Charlie flank
has
vulnerable.
Lost 2 destroyers now, though. I mean,
oh yeah, you're right. 2 DDs down.
And look at Lotus, his positioning here. The Colombo is just gonna slap him around.
It would seem that AURUM It would seem AURUM ordered their requested their Colbert to go and support the Des Moines there on Alpha, because it's just Lotus alone on the Des Moines. They're facing four ships from Hull Crushers. That's
they're
rough.
whittling down this Colombo very well. So if Lotus can survive for long enough, there's a chance he could make a comeback here. They're still dealing with a destroyer deficit, which is bad. But if they can take this Colombo out, even up the battleship count a little bit, that's going to make a big difference in their ability to win this game.
We do see torpedoes here coming towards Lotus. Looks like his sonar is on.
Colombo goes down.
That's big for this Des Moines. Senna being in the middle of the map now could be an issue for Lotus here. In a few moments' time, seems like Senna's turrets are facing the other way for the time being, as Mr. Lotus is spotted. And there's a lot of torpedoes coming for him. AURUM just lost the Stalingrad, unfortunately, so there's one of their radar cruisers down.
It looks like that Colombo was too little too late taking that out. I mean, he's...
yeah, there's the dead strike from Ohio.
That was rough.
And AURUM just lost a bunch of ships in the last few moments, so it's only 2 ships left now for AURUM. They have a battleship and
I think AURUM did a better job in their start to this match. But the key to it was it seemed like their Colombo overextended on the seaside and couldn't get out of danger fast enough. Because once that Colombo went down, it was kind of, the rest of them kind of went down like bowling pins.
We see the remaining Ohio here.
Oh my
from
God.
Louisiana just got deleted.
Absolutely deleted.
Wow, that Ohio was basically full health. Just vanished.
That was crazy.
Wow. And just like that, Louisiana gets another plus point in the strength column. Not just the insane torpedoes, but the guns as well.
I know.
Wow. And now AURUM only have a Kleber left to fight against more than half the team of Hull Crushers. Yo. There's nothing really this Kleber can do.
Well, there we have it, folks. Radar Minotaur is the play. You heard it here first.
Radar Minotaur, there goes the Kleber. Hull Crushers secure their 3rd straight victory and brings the end to this game day where we have Hull Crushers emerging victorious against AURUM here in a best of 5 where Hull Crushers secured the first 3 games in straight sets, as they would say in tennis. And that would bring us to the end of the gameplay that we have for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hull
Yeah,
Crushers are starting to look a little bit like a dark horse almost.
definitely. I was fortunate enough to commentate on one of their qualifying games, and yeah, they played very well. But I have to say today they played a little better, just that tiny bit better, and
I,
they are proving
well,
themselves.
AURUM, I think, man, AURUM had some real issues in their shattered strategy. I mean, bringing the Colbert and basically doing nothing with it. Not contesting CCAP for God knows why. Uh, I'm just not a fan of what we saw out of them from on the CCAP or on Shatter in general.
Yeah,
Um,
them sticking with Colbert really cost them dearly on Shatter.
Sea of Fortune, they looked a lot better, especially at the start. Um, Obviously, it didn't go well, and they got to a point where it all kind of collapsed. And I really do think that Colombo was kind of the key to it. They they could have survived with a destroyer deficit, uh, but losing the Colombo so early and the destroyer, I mean, one or the other you can deal with, but both together
Both,
is
yeah,
pretty rough.
that's a significant blow to the team.
Yeah.
Very difficult to come back from, and like we just saw there, they weren't able to find their way back. So I believe
So there you
that's
have it.
Aurum knocked out of the SuperCup tournament. I don't think there is a runners-up bracket for the SuperCup. It's just
No,
knockout
it's
elimination all
just
the
a
way.
straight, yeah. Uh, Best of five. One chance. If you're out, you're out.
So that means Hell Crushers move on to the next round. I'm not sure if we know their opponents yet. Or is that in the next
Let's
matches coming
see
up?
here. No, that will be decided tomorrow. Actually, either Joker Nord or TWP, the
The
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack,
Ooh, and
yeah.
they will have Hull Crushers will have their work cut out for them in that
Against either of
match.
those teams, yeah. Because I believe the
Yeah,
Wolfpack made the semifinals in the third Ocean Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
and Joker Nord was not far behind.
Yeah, that's going to be a heavyweight game tomorrow. Joker Nord and the
Absolutely.
Wolfpack. But yeah,
So
Hull Crushers went
if
through.
if Hull Crushers make the semifinals here, I mean, if Hull Crushers take down either Joker Nord or TWP in their next game, then they're a serious contender in my opinion.
Definitely. Looking at the teams that have advanced into the quarterfinals, we have UFO confirmed after their victory against UNNC. They will play either the victor of Pain or DF. And then on the other side of the tournament bracket, we have Salty that already played their game against ATM. So they're already through. And Salty will play either Warfare at Sea Atlantic or Pain's Killers.
I'm gonna make a wild prediction here and say that it's probably gonna be Wasa.
Yeah, the Wasa boys, the victors of Ocean Cup 3 and Ocean Cup 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe they've won all three Ocean Cups, haven't they?
And they also, did they win the Winter Cup, the tournament with the CVs in, I believe, as well?
They may have. They are quite good.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Warfare at Sea Atlantic fleet, their main comp team is one of the strongest comp teams in this Super Cup. So it's definitely going to be, I would assume they are the favorites coming into this tournament. And
There are a
we'll
lot of
see
good matches coming up tomorrow. I mean, I'm looking forward to Anchor versus Stall. That should be a really good close match. Joker Nord versus the Wolfpack should be a good one.
as well. And we have
Yeah,
SNA taking on Crimson Dragons. Crimson Dragons being
yeah,
the
that's going to be an
finalists
interesting matchup. I
from
I
the
don't know
Ocean
what to
Cup.
expect of that.
I
Yeah,
have scrimmed
CRD was.
against SNA before, and they're a very well-oiled machine. They've got their
Uh-huh.
strategies in place, and also Crimson Dragons losing to Wasa in the final of Ocean Cup 3, so they also have their things cut out for them. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Super
But
Cup is ramping up to be very, very, very sweaty.
oh, for sure. I think that is gonna call it. Hull Crushers again take the victory 3-0. And they move on to the quarterfinals, and they will await their opponent. Their opponent will be decided tomorrow, either Juggernaut or the Wolfpack. I will be covering one of the matches. I don't know which match yet. To figure that out. So I'm sure you just keep an eye on the Fleet Network Discord for posts. A lot of matches are kind of happening at the same time. Kaiser, which match are you covering tomorrow?
I'm available to cover the early 2 games on the earliest time. I can't remember which game that is. I think it's Anchor versus Stahl or Jokernaut Wolfpack. So I'm not sure
Okay,
which one I'll be covering, but
either one of
either
those.
one of those, yeah.
I may be covering the other one, so
Okay.
we may not be together for this next round.
Yeah, we'll
But
see if there's any other casters that could join us for coverage of all the other games. Because tomorrow there's like 4 or 5 games taking place.
yeah, oh yeah.
All right, Sensei
folks.
Wally, thank you so much for joining me on the stream. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun. And we will see you later.
Right, you have an awesome afternoon. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the live streams. And please go check out Sensei Wally again. Link is in the description. And also, ladies and gents, please go join the Fleet Network Discord. I put the link for the Discord server in the description of the video. So please join there, register your fleets for all of these tournaments. I know the Ocean Cup 4 is registration opened a few days ago, so get your fleet in there, start practicing, make strategies, and get things ready for the competitive scene in World of Warships Legends. That'll do it for the stream from my side. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate all of you. And we shall catch you in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, ciao.